My name is Videsh Ramchu. I'm a Year 2 Mechanical Engineering student. In this machine design project, we are required to design a tire shredder. I plan to help my group members by being a good team player, following the instructions of my group leader, and helping my teammates to the best of my ability. I plan on being creative while paying attention to the details of the tire shredding machine.
My name is Michael Bissoon. I also plan to be a good team player. My strengths include attention to detail, I'm mathematically inclined, as well as I'm good at drawing.
My name is Kadisha, and I also want to be a good team player. My strengths include good organizational skills, and I have good communication skills.
My name is Kurt. For this project, I plan to contribute my analytical aptitude and creative problem-solving skills while being a good team player.
The way tires are disposed of in this country can cause a great toll on the environment. This is because most tires are just left outside or thrown in dumps. They take up a large amount of space and take a long time to decay. This has brought about the need for an environmentally friendly way of recycling used tires. The aim of our project is to conceptualize and design an efficient, environmentally friendly tire shredder which can shred a variety of tires. This is our objective tree, with 6 factors we consider to be the most important. Tire recycling is a process of converting end-of-life or unwanted old tires into material that can be utilized into new products. End-of-life tires typically become candidates for recycling when they become no longer functional due to wear or damage and can no longer be retreaded or regrooved. There are over 1 billion end-of-life tires generated annually worldwide, and it is estimated that 4 billion unwanted end-of-life tires exist in landfills and stockpiles. As a result, the importance of tire recycling cannot be understated. Going back 100 years or so into the history of tires, tire recycling was a priority, with the price of an ounce of rubber rivaling the price of an ounce of silver. Such economic incentives faded, however, with the introduction of synthetic rubber made from cheap imported oil, and as well as the adoption of steel-belted radial tires, recycling became more challenging. As a result, worn-out tires increasingly found their way to landfills or were often dumped illegally, creating unanticipated hazards. Fortunately, tires are now increasingly diverted from landfills. While there was a market for only 17% of all tires in 1990, this had risen to 88.4% by 2003, according to the US Environmental Protection Agency. Massive disposal sites of scrap tires is common in many cities of modern times. One of the overseen problems of scrap tire disposal yards is that these areas become breeding places for rodents and mosquitoes. Stagnant water that collects inside tires is a suitable breeding place for mosquitoes, which is a major problem in our Caribbean region. Elimination of scrap tire disposal sites by proper recycling would also have secondary advantages by eliminating the disposal related problems. One of the most promising waste streams that can be used as alternative fuel in the production of cement is considered that of used tires. The blending of used tires in the process of cement manufacturing together with other traditional fuels is known as co-processing. On average, tire-derived fuel can replace 5 to 25% of the heat energy requirements at a cement producing plant. In Europe, there are some cement plants burning as much as 80% of tire-derived fuel. The use of scrap tires in cement kilns is one of the best technologies for a complete and safe destruction of these wastes due to the fact that there is a simultaneous benefit of destroying waste and getting the energy. Thus, the use of scrap tires as alternative fuel in cement kilns has energy and economic justifiability, and it is environmentally friendly. Below shows a table with the contents of a tire for both automobiles and trucks. In 2015, Minister of Water Resources and Environment, Ganga Singh, said that some 800,000 used tires are dumped annually in Trinidad and Tobago. In the east of London, there is a tire shredding operation which is a joint venture between two French companies, Michelin, the world's largest tire manufacturer, and Lafarge, formerly known as Blue Circle, the world's largest cement company. They set up Sapphire Energy Recovery in 2001 as a way to kill two birds with one stone. For Michelin, this was a way of cutting at source the illegal disposal of its tires through fly tipping. For Lafarge, it was a means of using cleaner fuel than coal in the manufacturing of cement. The TCL Group is the leading producer and marketer of cement and ready-mix products in the Caribbean. with 8 operating companies in TNT, Barbados, Guyana, Jamaica, and Anguilla. With a partnership mimicking that of the Sapphire Energy Recovery, this is the market we would like to tackle, introducing our tire shredders into TCL's operations regionally with at least one machine in every country they are based in. We would be charged with the responsibility of collecting tires and producing a consistent quality product suitable for use in the cement making process.
This patent features a primary shredder shown as number 100, a secondary shredder shown as number 200, and a granulator, number 700. The tire, number 30, is fed into the primary shredder, which consists of cylindrical gear-shaped cutters, number 120, with teeth, number 150, that are attached to 2 parallel counter-rotating shafts, number 130. The design of the primary cutter allows the power requirement to drastically reduce by 90%. This is because most of the cutting is done on the top and bottom edges. The rubber strips then goes to the secondary shredder, number 200, which has a reel type cutter, number 210. Then the rubber strips goes to the grinding machine, which has mating grinding disc, number 400, separated by a controlled gap, number 470. After the grinding process, the shredded pieces then goes to a magnetic conveyor belt where the metal wire, number 62, is separated from the rubber, number 60, and polyester fibers, number 64, which falls into a shaker conveyor belt, number 610, where the polyester is filtered from the rubber based on their sizes. The rubber then falls into a bin, number 630, and then goes through the grinding machine for a second time. This image shows the overall schematic of the tire shredder, where the tires are placed on the conveyor belt number 21, where at each end there is a studded wheel number 25, which gives more traction to the system. The conveyor then moves the tires to the shredder number 30. Figure 3 shows the pair of the parallel feed shafts, number 34 and 35, where star-shaped discs, number 38, are mounted. The tips of the star discs, number 40, are blunted and are spaced to allow the tires to be pulled downwards. Below, there is a pair of parallel cutter shafts, number 36 and 37. In figure 4, there are 6 nozzles at number 43, which sprays a mist inside of the hopper, number 22, which helps reduce clogging. The fingers or tips of the star can cause the cutting chamber, number 23, to jam. However, there are stripper plates, number 45, between them, which can help prevent clogging. On the cutter shafts, number 36 and 37, there are slitter blades, number 51 and 52, and in between the cutter shafts, there is a series of cutter bundles, number 50, which consists of 2 slitter blades, number 51 and 52. These bundles causes a slice and tear effect on the tires. The shredded tires then goes on another conveyor belt, number 32, and then onto a storage
US
bin, number 33.
5562255A. Figure 1. This shows the main rotating shears 10, which contains 12 and 14 sets of annular shear members 16 respectively. Figure 2. The respective 12 and 14 sets of the primary shear 10 includes 16 annular shear members 16, each spaced apart from adjacent shear components. Each shear blade is parallel with the helical blades so that each helical blade shears against a shear blade when rotating adjacently when cutting the tires. Figures 3 and 4. These images shows how the variety of cutting element overcome the wear. 66 attached along a border of 68 of each shear blade 16. Every cutting component 66 includes an outer surface 70 and an inner surface 72. Varying speeds can be used to control the sizes of the shredded tire. Figure 5. The power source for the rotary shears. This can be used to control the speed of the primary 10 and secondary 24 shears, which works independent of the other. Figure 6. This shows a compression assemblies 94 as well as a variety of different rows of compression rollers 96 arranged to form a V-shaped assembly. with the vertex of the V position adjacent to the main rotary shear 10. The tire would basically be compressed and sliced into small pieces 112 as the blade rotates.
Now let's talk about the client and customer needs. From the results of the survey, a list of the needs of the client and the customer was compiled. The client desires included efficient machines in terms of the energy use, durability, low maintenance or availability of parts, ease of use, the amount of tires shredded at a time, and types of tires the machine can shred. The customer needs included the size of chips available, the amount of shredded pieces available, and the content of the shredded material, that is, if there is any metal or polyester in the content.
Survey results. This survey was done at 10 different tire shops and all results were tabulated. First question, how many tires do you dispose of weekly? 40% dispose of 0 to 30 and 30 to 60 tires weekly respectively. Which features are most important? 90% thought separation of materials and maintenance were the most important. What classes of tire do you dispose of? 100% dispose of Class 3 light motor vehicles and 90% dispose of Class 4 heavy motor vehicles. Minimum tire sizes dispose of: 60% dispose of 18-inch diameter tires. Maximum tire sizes dispose of: 40% dispose of 42 inches diameter tires. What would you like to do with the shredded tires? 40% were unsure and 60% would resell. Metrics. The metrics used in this exercise were separation of materials, storage, size of shredded materials, maintenance, how many tires that can be shredded at a time, and ease of use. Pairwise comparison chart. This graphical method shows how important each metric is in comparison to the other different metrics. 1 states that it's more important, 0 states that it's less important. On the graph, X shows the sum total for each metric. For example, separation of material. Separation of material is considered more important than storage, maintenance, tires shredded at a time, and ease of use, but is considered less important than size of pieces. Relative weighting. This was calculated by finding the total sum of 2x plus 1 in the pairwise comparison chart and dividing by the x values for each metric. It was then multiplied by 100 to get the percentage. Example for separation of materials. The total sum of 2x plus 1 was 36. The x value for separation of materials was 9. Therefore, the relative weighting for separation of materials was 25%. Storage was 3%, size of shredded material 19.5%, maintenance 19.5%, tires shredded at a time 8%, and ease of use equals 25%. Selection matrix. A scaling method was used for this exercise, where 3 being the best and 1 being the worst for each of the 3 conceptual designs. From the selection matrix, it was seen that design 1 was the best, followed by design 2, then design 3. Weighted matrix. This was calculated using the selection matrix. The relative weighting was converted to decimal form and multiplied by the number that was given for the designs for each metric. For example, separation of material for design 1. The relative weighting was 25%. It was converted to decimal form, which was 0.25, and multiplied by 3, so it was equals to 0.75. This was done for each design and the total was calculated. For design 1 total, it was 2.395, design 2, 2.145, design 3, 1.665. From this, it can be seen that design 1 had the highest total value. Therefore, this was considered to be the best design out of the 3 conceptual designs. Hence, it was chosen as our main design.
For the functional decomposition chart, the inputs in order to shred tires are human energy, electrical energy, and a tire, whereas the outputs would be noise or sound, heat, shredded rubber, metal, or shredded polyester. For reverse engineering purposes, we used US Patent 3693894A. The table shows functions in the first column, starting from the primary function onto secondary functions and their alternatives. For example, the first row shows shred tires and the alternatives of shredding tires are to use two blades, change the direction of the blade, grinding or granulating. For enumeration, ways to keep the machine maintained over its lifetime were discussed, such as keeping the blades lubricated and keeping the magnets on. In this function means tree, the rectangles represent functions and the triangles represents the means of doing it. The top level in this diagram, which is to shred tires, is the basic function of the machine, and the means of doing that is by the blades.
For design 1, there's a conveyor belt which moves the tires up to the shredder where they meet the primary blades followed by the secondary blades. These blades allow the tire to be shredded into very small pieces. On the sides of the secondary blade, air enters to ensure that no material is built up there. After passing the secondary blades, the material falls onto a magnetic belt where the metal remains, and the rubber and polyester is allowed to fall into a sifter. The polyester is separated and falls into a separate bin as it is smaller than the rubber. The metal continues along the belt until it meets the scraper, where it is allowed to fall into a bin of its own. In design 2, the tires are stored above the tire shredder and gravity is used to get them down to the machine. They travel along an angled surface which is lubricated to reduce friction. When they reach the machine, they meet a buffer which slows down the intake and ensures only one tire continues through the machine at a time. After passing the buffer, the tires pass through the blades where they are shredded. The shredded material continues down the chute where there are magnets on either side which stops the metal pieces from continuing down, while the rubber and polyester fall into the bin at the bottom. Design 3, there is a mounting arm which can hold several tires at a time. This mounting arm also contains a handle which can be used to adjust the size of the tires that it can accommodate. The mounting arm as well as the blade spins in opposite direction to allow the tire to be shredded and the shredded pieces sent up a chute. At the top of the chute, there is a magnet which the metal pieces stick to. The rubber and polyester parts fall into a bin at the bottom.